people who cannot sit at home, thank you so much for being here. This is a big road trip. This is a 3-day, 2 nights road trip to Lake Erie. It will have a lot of exciting stuff. There's going to be lots of yummy food, lots of lighthouses, lots of water, and we're even going to end up in Niagara-on-the-Lake. And definitely I hope this video is going to inspire you to go to this kind of area of Erie that we are heading to. So first we're actually gonna go to area right behind Hamilton. So this is about an hour and a half south of Toronto. This is called Cottonwood Mansion, and the city that it's located is called Selkirk. We booked the tour of the Cottonwood Mansion. The lady who did the tour was so friendly, so lovely, knew so much about all of the pieces and all of the items and the history of the family that lived here. For me, what was amazing, well, first of all, that this gorgeous mansion was in the middle of the fields. That was an interesting kind of element for me. And things like how they live. Like, for example, this is a dating chair where one person would sit and the other one would sit on the other side, and you're supposed to have a date. And then there were so many little informational pieces in the house, and the way that the house is outfitted is also really beautiful. At one point, this house was empty for 80 years, actually. And a lot of the renovations were done by the volunteers. And over here, this little, I don't know, stand, the circular stand, is actually so that when a lady is sitting in front of the fireplace, her makeup doesn't fall off, because the makeup was wax-based and it could easily run down. Over here is an area where the lady, the daughter of the house, would curl her hair over there and do little toiletries and that was her bedroom. Here is the mock-up of the house. And here is another bedroom, again, really gorgeous. And this is how they went to the bathroom. But this was mainly used for emergencies during the cold nights. They did have an outhouse, but the house, this mansion, even though absolutely expensive and gorgeous, did not have plumbing. So it's crazy how people lived. And this is called the pig, and you would put warm water in there and put it in your bed to warm up your bed. Absolutely. Like, I love information like this. It makes me so curious about how people lived. And this is a vacuum cleaner, very simplified. So kind of like the Roomba of the old age. And yeah, very cool. Anyhow, the tour was so much worth it. It is by donation tour, so the suggested price is about $15. It's best if you pre-book it when you go here so that they know that you're coming, and the tours are mainly on the weekends. So that was the first stop of our road trip, and now we're gonna head to Whistling Gardens. I've been there before, I posted about them before. These guys are actually the biggest peony garden in, I think, North America. I don't want to lie, but I'm pretty sure they are like really well known for their peony gardens. Right now peonies are not in bloom, but all of these other flowers are in bloom. So the entry fee, I think, is something like $15. I got it covered for me, which was very nice. I am on this road trip with my family, with my mom, brother, and sister-in-law. And right away over here we have gorgeous manicured gardens. The gardens are large. You will need at least an hour to cover everything. And right now in the summer, not as many flowers as I was hoping for. It's still really worthy garden to check out, especially in terms of trees. There's so many beautiful trees. I always love daylilies. They have the gourmet, quote-unquote, daylilies, you know, the more fancy ones, which is always fun to see. So Whistling Gardens located in a town called Wilsonville, which is not very far from the Cottonwood Mansion that we were just at. And over here, more cool pine cones. Look how adorable they are. They have like little green highlights. Very cool. And more pine cones. But in my defense, they're very unusual. These gardens also have a number of cacti. I adore cacti or any succulents. One time when we were here, these specific cacti were all blooming. They had flowers everywhere. I actually see them. I see the flowers, but they are all burned down because of all of the heat that we've been having. And I completely understand. Unfortunately, a lot of my garden, my own backyard, got burnt to crisp with this summer heat that we've been having. As you can see, lots of paths. There is a map that they give you. Walk around, enjoy. It's a definitely really gorgeous garden. And again, if you can get here in kind of June, best to check online for the peony season. They have some gorgeous, gorgeous peonies. I'm going to insert clips from the previous times that I've been there. It's just such a beautiful garden and beautiful different types of peonies all over Whistling Gardens. And here are some absolutely gorgeous lilies. Definitely right now is the lily season, be it day lilies or just regular lilies. And as I mentioned, they have a number of fountains. So here's an area with a fountain.
The fountains are nice though.
And here's a cool art installation and even music installation.
Wow.
And they even have a bird sanctuary over here, a number of doves, peacocks. They're pretty loud actually.
Ooh.
And as I mentioned, they also have a really beautiful water fountain show. It goes for about 10 minutes, and I think it repeats on the hour, maybe like, I don't know, throughout the day. So I think we spent about an hour, give or take, at the Whistling Gardens, and now we're heading to the town of Waterford, as this was very close by and had a really good rated Mexican place. But we also stumbled upon Alice Street Antique Market, and they had a cat in its window. And anytime I see a cat, I will go into that place. And I love how they have hats for cats, a book, and another book over there. What is it? Crafting with cat hair. The humor of it is just amazing. And my name is Benny over there. There's the name of the cat, and he likes having cat naps right on that window. I thought that that was hilarious. And as you walk in, you see two more cats. I'm a crazy cat lady, and yeah, that was pretty awesome. And the antique store is fascinating. They have lots of really cool items. The lady was also really nice, the owner. Her husband passed away a couple of years ago. I think he was the main collector, especially of these German kind of antique vintage toys, and there are a number of really beautiful hats. Anyway, Alice Street Antique Market in Waterford, highly recommend. It's a smaller size, but so adorable. And yeah, the cats have my heart. Look at them looking at each other. I think they're a sister and brother. Belching Barista was a place right across. I thought that that's a hilarious name for a coffee shop. And over here we are So Mexican Eatery. It is also in Waterford, and it turned out to be an absolute gem. If you're ever in Waterford, you need to go to these guys. First we started with a cake because, you know, life is short. We need to start with a cake. And the cake was amazing. Pistachio, raspberry, very, very good. Guacamole and chips, freshly made chips, freshly made guacamole. This was, I don't remember the name, but essentially these are tacos, so good. The burrito bowl, that is shrimp, and quesadilla. Yes, quesadilla, I think, yes. So anyway, amazing food, highly recommend. Waterford Antique Market is what I wanted to check out. You know, that's the reason why I actually went to Waterford, because I've heard so much about the Waterford Antique Market, and it did not disappoint. A really nice antique market, 2 levels, lots of different variety, lots of different vendors. We have music over here, there's some clothes, there's some jewelry, just anything really that you want antique wise is there. Here's me walking through, and of course I found uranium stand. If you've been following me, you know that I'm obsessed with uranium, and essentially it's a radioactive element that was popular in the 70s, and they did a lot of glassware with it, but now it's of course not as popular, but it glows in the dark, this like neon green, which I find, it glows under blue light, sorry, neon green, which I find fascinating. And there usually stands in every major antique place that you will find. Over here they have a really lovely patio. Never had an antique store. Have I seen an antique store with a patio? That is very adorable, by the way. I'm guessing maybe they have some food items here. I didn't see any. Let me know if there's any food that they sell. But there's a patio to sit at. And another beautifully curated. I just love how individuality of each curator shows through, right? Like over here we have so much white and linens and what is it, cottagecore, and yeah, it's just really pretty. Over here we have a ginormous head of a bunny. God knows why, but it's cool. Unusual Mexican. Is that a shrimp? Is that a lobster? For 445, it can be yours. And again, the personality. So this is very goth. Everything in here is very gothy. I kind of like it. Definitely had goth beginnings in my teenage years. So cool. This area I found so beautiful. Over there is the name of the owner, and yeah, it's just again very, very cottagey, very clean and lovely. And lots of earrings in one of the other stands. Anyway, the Waterford Antique Market is definitely worth checking out if you're in the area. It has so many curious objects that you can purchase or just enjoy. Outside there was this canoe place. Please sit, see, sip. I guess it's a place to have a drink. Totally random in a canoe. Kind of funny. And over here is a deck and some beautiful lilies right across from the antique market, and a pond. So Bonnie Heath is our next location. The proper name of it is Bonnie Heath Estate Lavender and Winery. They are located in Waterford. Actually, this is my second time there. I absolutely adore them. First of all, their shop is excellent. Just for nothing else, go there, check out their shop. It has well, first of all, it has the winery, so it has a lot of wine. It has a lot of home and beauty products, and it has a lot of like chocolates that I'm going to show you in a second. Very unusual. This is also a lavender farm, and you can go and walk around the lavender farm. And the best part, there is no fee for walking around lavender farm, which is really cool. At least this year, might change, of course. Cool rock painting, kids. Here is a coffee sponge toffee. I love that kind of candy. A scored chocolate pizza slice. We did deliberate if we want to have a chocolate pizza slice, but we settled on the toffee covered, on the toffee candy that's in that are covered in dark chocolate sponge coffee. Goodness, there we go. They also have the milk version, milk chocolate version. And yes, some home decor, even friendship bracelets. Anyway, really adorable gift store. And we did also sample and took wine home. Well, not home, to our Airbnb that I'm going to show you in a second. The wine that we went for was the sparkling wine that is slightly lavender hinted, kind of like a flavor, lavender flavor. This is outside. On the right over there, there are wine fields, grape fields. This is the actual gift shop. And on the left, there is a lavender field. So we got lavender lemonade, and it just looked so pretty with the lavender in the background over there. Now we're heading to our Airbnb. And by the way, sorry, I basically had to re-film this. The original filming, when it was nice and clean, I filmed it in the wrong format, and it basically, I only have this filming. Sorry, it's a little bit of a mess. This is already when everybody moved in and made themselves comfortable, so it's not as aesthetically pleasing, but here is the Airbnb that we stayed at. Overall, it's a good Airbnb. I'm gonna link it down below. I know they are thinking of selling it, so I don't know if this is going to be available for years and years, but you never know, maybe the new owners will also continue. The reason we got this Airbnb is because it has a view onto Lake Erie over there, and it has a jacuzzi, and it has 2 rooms because there's 4 of us, and nice kitchen, and that actually is very important. They had water, they had coffee machine, they had stove, basically all that we needed. So here is me, and they even had a washer. Here's the bathroom. And yes, here's the jacuzzi, big deal for me, even though it was plus 35 outside and the jacuzzi was probably hotter. We still went in both of the nights that we stayed at. They had a bunny outside. I mean, what else do you want? So this is 6 in the morning, the day after. This is the sunrise, and our thing with our family is that we always make sure to greet the sunrise. And because there's a pier right by the Airbnb, it's a bit of a drive, like 2-minute drive, like really right there. And then you have a pier and you can walk on it. There's a lighthouse I'll show you in a second, and you see the beautiful sunrise. Why do we greet the sunrise even more so than the sunset? Though we have done sunsets, of course, as well. I don't know. It's mainly my mom who loves sunrises, and we started following her steps. It is hard to wake up at 6 in the morning. Yes, it really is hard. And by the way, right now there is some kind of a fish craze going on Lake Erie. There is lots of, apparently very easy to fish, like it's a excess of fish right now, so lots of fishermen, lots of boats that go out into the Lake Erie to catch fish. So for our breakfast, we went to Passmores Diner. This is located in Danville, just as our Airbnb. Sorry, I forgot to mention that our Airbnb is in Danville, just about an hour from Bonnie Heath lavender farm that we were at. So the reason we chose this diner and slash breakfast place, because it is all very much retro. I think it's from the 1940s that they kind of kept the look. I absolutely adore diners like that. I just find them, there's so very few nowadays, and if they are still kind of kept in this condition, I try my hardest to check them out. So here is our crew, and here are the menus. The prices are pretty great. There's also like a early bird special for like $7 or something like that. We also got Eggs Benedict over there, and their story is also in the menu, and it's a family, and they had 21 children. I guess I know who worked at this diner in the beginning. Here's the original menu, and like cheeseburger over there is 60 cents. Is anything ever 60 cents? Ever? Hot dog, 40 cents. So over here we have the special. That was the breakfast special for $7.99, and then we have pancakes, and then we have eggs Benedict. Everything was so yummy, so visually beautiful. Pancakes, by the way, had the chocolate chip in them. And over here we are driving. We are going to Port Colborn, and over here is a lighthouse. I'm gonna write the name of this lighthouse right now on the screen, but essentially there is really no way to get to it, which is kind of cool in its own way, isn't it? Like forgotten lighthouse that's just in the middle of Lake Erie. So romantic. So yes, now we're driving to Port Colborn. I've posted about Port Colborn before, but that was about 4 years ago, and this is just checking it out one more time. I absolutely adore it. There is a reason why I adore it. So over there, notice that bridge, notice the town, like they have cute little shops over there. Here's me just filming myself. Trying to film myself a bit more in these videos. But yes, since I've been here, which was about 4 years ago, I can definitely see that there are more stores now. There's actually a whole building that we're gonna have some cupcakes later on. And over here we found the weirdest looking butterfly. It looked like a shrimp. So here we are kind of walking around the town. This is very early in the morning. Over there is a really cool set of chairs that you can just sit and watch.
Titanic.
So right now it's a bit disappointing because before the restaurants would have a lot of chairs and seating right across to watch the bridge go up. Right now there is no seating, but there's like lots of just area, like a park almost, that you can, if you bring your own chairs, you can do that. We went onto this little island over here and we just watched the bridge go up. Now the traffic that crosses the bridge is stopped, of course, and we are waiting for the boat. The boats pass by often. You don't need to worry too much if you're gonna be over here. You will see, I mean, I can't guarantee, but very good chance you will see the boat, especially if it's in the summertime. And over there's a huge boat. If you want to know what boats are there during daytime, St. Catherine's Museum, St. Catherine's and Welland Museum, they usually post on their Facebook each day the boats and the timings, and they're about half an hour from this location. So that gives you a rough understanding how many boats are going to be per day and what time to kind of show up. And yes, over here, ginormous boat goes through the bridge. It almost felt like it's going to hit the bridge over there at the top, but of course they calculate, so they know their heights, and then the bridge goes down and the traffic resumes. Over here we're going to the coffee shop, husband and dog missing, reward for the dog. Love the humor. This is still Port Colborn. We're just kind of walking around. Definitely love the cute little houses. There's not a lot of them, but there is a good amount. So this is the building that I was talking to you about. The name of the coffee place is the Pie Guy's Bakery and Cafe. This is definitely new, at least newer than 4 years ago. They had so many cool drinks like lemonade. They had like flavored coconut water. They had the coolest tarts and pies and things like that. Chocolate cream over here definitely looked amazing. We're gonna get that in a second. And I like the cream cheese over here, the cheesecake, sorry. And here's what we got. That's a chocolate cheesecake. That's a lemon tart. That's lemonade. I think it's called house lemonade. And over here is what I showed before and what's inside. Lots of chocolate. So good. Everything was amazing. And definitely great place to have a little snack. This is a second breakfast. And at this point we have left Port Colborn and we headed for Port Abino. This is a very much kind of fisher port, and they had people cutting out fillets from their fish. It was really cool to see that. But we were there actually for a tour of a lighthouse. So I'm gonna link down below the information. Usually it's on the weekends. Actually, when I was looking at this Port Abino Lighthouse tour, they were all sold out. They're $6, by the way, per person. But when we showed up there and asked about it, the volunteers said, "Yeah, we can take you into the bus. Just yeah, pay $6 and we take you in." So we waited for about 40 minutes, and that was the next tour. Usually they're during the daytime on the weekends in the summer. So over here we are going through the private part of this peninsula, I'm gonna call it, and here's the gorgeous Port Abino Lighthouse. They call it the Taj Mahal of lighthouses, and you can see why. It is gorgeous, it's big, it's 5 floors high. Over here we are very excited. By the way, the bus ride was like 5 minutes long, very fast. And the whole tour takes about an hour. You are not encouraged to wander around because everything is privatized. So just the lighthouse and that's about it, which is fine. That's what we're there for. It's really, really beautiful. The reason why it was built is because, well, I did not know this, but Lake Erie is actually really shallow. And when was it? In the early 1900s, 3,000 boats have sank, and earlier, of course, have sank in this area. And they were going to Buffalo, right? So so that's why the lighthouse was very, very much needed, because it was actually getting really dangerous for the boats in the area. The tour includes information of there's a tour guide on the bus and in the lighthouse, and the mainly it's just the main floor that's open to public. The upper floors are closed. It was a bit of a, I wanted to go upstairs, to be completely honest. They do show you the lens over here. This is a replica. This is from a movie set, actually. There's some photos of the light keepers, and of course information on how they lived. This was not their home, because their home was actually right outside. There was a really nice house, so they did have a nice house to live at, and this was their work. All around is really beautiful, but you could tell that this is a really, really shallow area, which of course fills up at certain time of the year, but right now very, very shallow. Gorgeous lighthouse. I definitely suggest checking it out whenever you're here. It's definitely, definitely worth seeing this. I did not even know that this is a thing that existed in Ontario, and I've been traveling in Ontario for a lot. So this is definitely a gem. Then we ended up at the City Thai restaurant. This was a bit of a drive. This is literally across from Buffalo, so across from the States, still on the Canadian side. We started with the fresh roll over there, pad thai chicken, rice with tofu, and what else? And there was another dish that we got, like basil chicken, I think. And here is Buffalo on the other side, and Niagara River over here. Extremely powerful, very strong current. RCAF Danville Museum. We are heading now back to our Airbnb, and this museum is free to check out. It's I think the open hours are only like from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So it was a bit of a challenge to get here in time. This was like right before it's closing, and it has a number of warplanes. The volunteers that work here are so lovely. They were so into, I think they're ex-pilots, so they're very into everything about this museum, have so much knowledge. You can even over here climb into the old warplane, which I took a chance. Never been in a plane like that before, or in a cockpit, so here I go. So many little buttons and things. There are people that know what each of these buttons does. Really, really impressive if you're one of them. Really impressive. It's lovely that this museum is free. Great piece of Canadian history. Highly recommend you check it out where you're in the Danville area. And we ended our second day in Erie on the beach, just kind of relaxing, checking out the beautiful waters. It is a bit of a kind of gloomy, rainy time of the day right now. Here we are at the cottage, just relaxing outside. By the way, here's my brother and the view onto Lake Erie. See how it's already kind of nicer, even though it's evening. We started the fire. And the reason for the fire is because we wanted to do savory s'mores. So what are savory s'mores? This is something I learned from my sister-in-law, which is very cool. It's a trend right now. What you do is, it's essentially s'mores, but instead of marshmallows, you use brie cheese or some other kind of melted cheese. And you have crackers and you have meats and you make these little sandwiches out of them. And at first I was like, I don't know, but it was so yummy that I kept coming back and heating up the brie cheese because the way it melts on the fire, and then you have your prosciutto. So yummy.
It's escaping. Okay, here, there we go.
Nice, gooey, yeah.
So yes, savory s'mores, it's a yes for me. I do definitely recommend. And then we also did the regular s'mores. We used, however, the digestible cookies, whatever they're called, with the ones already chocolate in there, so we didn't need to buy the chocolate. So yes, you heat up your s'more and then you put that s'more between your two cookies or just one cookie. You don't need to sandwich it between the cookies, whatever you want.
A little bit of a char.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, no.
Blow it out.
It's supposed to like heat through.
Shoot.
Yeah, just...
But it's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
Oh,
it's
mine's
still-
Well, you can just get a new one if it's
No,
too...
no, you don't. No.
You just don't do that.
So here it is. Oh, look how pretty. It melted, and it melted all over my fingers and all over my face. But you know what? I don't care. I'm enjoying my vacation. In the morning we have coffee over here. They had a really nice Keurig machine. I actually really like this. Very simple and actually highly functional and fast. I made the coffee, put it in my thermos, and we headed for what? Yep, we headed to the same place to greet the sunrise again, and I actually had one of those chocolate cookies. Coffee, chocolate cookie, and sunrise. Yeah, that's my kind of morning. Loved it. Today there is far less fishermen. I'm not sure why. It's the same time, but yesterday there were many, about 10, and today there is none. Just seagulls. Here's the beautiful sunset. Very similar to yesterday, but definitely each sunset is different, right? So definitely do not regret getting up at 6 in the morning. Doughboys Diner is our place of breakfast for today. It's also really retro, but it has more of an emphasis on music. This is, by the way, in St. Catharines. So we have left our Airbnb, said goodbye to it, and now we're heading towards Niagara-on-the-Lake. That is our choice for today. Over here, I'm showing you all of the donuts that they have. They had a really cool looking walnut crunch, so that was a yes for me. I love how they had like a little coffee news in an antique vintagey style, very nice. In the bathroom, everything was retro. I'm guessing 90s, right? Because CDs were already in the 90s, but everything is kind of retro. I don't know. It feels like it's 70s style because 90s were not that retro, but the CDs and vinyls make it a little, younger than 70s. Anyhow, so we have the menu over here. They also had $8.50 really large breakfast, walk of shame it's called. And first we actually got their sweets, so apple fritter, walnut crunch, and carrot cake. Carrot cake and walnut crunch were excellent, highly recommend. Though we were discussing what's better, their walnut crunch or Tim Hortons's that they sometimes have. And I gotta say, Tim Hortons's is better. Yeah, it's moister. This one is a little on the drier side, but the taste is good for sure. The taste is there. It's just, I wonder if they can work on the moistness. I got avocado with eggs on a toast. My mom got Eggs Benedict. Again, she loves Eggs Benny's. That's the walk of shame for $8.50 breakfast special. And sister-in-law got a sandwich, Sammy. everything was really yummy. Over here, by the way, is the bathroom, and they had a whole Celebrity Skin, one of my favorite CDs, if not possibly my favorite CD. And yeah, they didn't have a chalk, but you can write stuff on the bathroom. Just very creative, love it. So now we're heading towards, right now we're still in St. Catharines, but we're heading towards Niagara-on-the-Lake. This is the Seaway, which is kind of like a plant, food and plants kind of place we usually stop by. And we got a bunch of plums, bunch of peaches, things like that. Then over here is another stand. I'm gonna write it over here in the video because I don't remember the name of it right now, but it's an amazing stand. They also have some flowers. I got a few gladiolas over there. They have berries, cherries, and just a large assortment of fruits and vegetables and maple syrup and things like that. Always lots of people. Quiet Acres is the name. There it is, Quiet Acres stand, and I think that's the name of the farm. I love these mixed berries boxes. You have peaches, you have berries. It's very nice. So we stocked up on that because they had lots of stuff. And these bigger baskets are perfect if you make jam. So yes, lots of stuff at the Quiet Acres over here. It's actually one of my favorite stands. Now we are in Niagara-on-the-Lake, and we met a bunch of Canada geese, and this guy, it's a goose and a white goose or a duck, I don't know, but they were all mixed. And we got confused why they're all hanging out together, because usually one are farm and the other ones are not. But anyway, so here we are at an orchard. We just parked over here, and they have apples and peaches. And over here we approached the Niagara River. I'm gonna put the location for you down below if you're interested in this spot. It's a bit of a, you need to look at the Google Maps to figure out how to get there, but it's a really lovely place where you can just chill and look at the river. And now we are at the Niagara-on-the-Lake, Prince of Wales Hotel, and everything right now, because this is a smack middle of the summer, this is like July 15th, and everything is gorgeous. So many flowers, everything is in bloom. I love how I feel that in Niagara everything is even more in bloom than in Toronto. Like, I feel like they have, I don't know, more sun, if that makes any sense, but it feels like, or maybe they just take care of the town that much better, that everything is just lush and overflowing and flowers everywhere. And if for nothing else, I try to go to Niagara-on-the-Lake just for the flowers. Because the stores, yes, they're a lot of fun, but I would say they're a bit touristy for me at this point. Definitely if you're a tourist, oh my goodness, yes, check out all of the stores, go everywhere. And we're actually gonna go to check out a few places. For example, I have never checked out the Apothecary, which is over here right across from the Prince of Wales Hotel. So it's called the Niagara Apothecary, and it's actually my brother who was like, oh, you have to go. And I was like, oh, I didn't know, that looked like a museum. And it is a museum, which is really cool. It's all about different potions and things like that, and it's pretty fascinating. And it's also kept in a style as it was back then, which is a huge interest point for me for sure. Here's how it looked like many years ago, and there was actually a streetcar over there. I did not know that there were streetcars in Niagara-on-the-Lake. So then we continued down, kind of exploring Niagara-on-the-Lake. It is, of course, really beautiful, as I mentioned. So many flowers, so many tourists, but overall, this is pretty early in the morning, so it's walkable. The candy store, there are a number of them, but I found this one, Badville. Big mistakes, pills, Alzheimer's, memory joggers, bad hair day candy. Basically, perfect gift to get, gag gift to get to somebody just as a joke, and it's a candy, so can't go wrong with that. Lego candy, conversation hearts, insane amount of different kind of candy. So Jelly Bellies over here, the my brother and sister-in-law, they have a tradition that they go in and they get a bunch of different flavors. It is of course by weight, so don't overdo it, depending of course how much candy you want. I'm not into the jelly beans, but they had bubble milk tea mochi, which I'm definitely far more into, but decided not to go for it, but this was definitely something that I'm more into. This I loved. So I love Reese's Pieces, and they have a whole stand of different kinds, specifically peanut butter and jelly Reese's Pieces. I never seen that. And they had the other one had two. I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna get it. This is far too interesting. And the jelly is grape jelly. They had big caramel, lots of peanut butter in there and caramel, and just, oh my gosh, so many different Reese's Pieces. And see how that is. So here we go, let's try it. It's definitely very thick. The jelly is very like little. There's far more peanut butter, which a little like overpowers it, but overall I would say this is pretty good. So here's a gelato place that we went to next. I got a matcha latte. And this was a lesson to me to not get a matcha latte from an Italian place. It was okay. How about that? But then we also, my sister-in-law got a affogato, which essentially is a shot of espresso and one of their gelatos together. And oh my gosh, that was so good. By the way, I also learned that the true, authentic, good gelato will always be covered. So over here you can see that there are lids on it, meaning that apparently when they are open, you know how sometimes you see them all like beautifully displayed. It's actually not a good thing, like it doesn't preserve it well. So I did not know that, so that was interesting to learn. And yes, of course, there are tons more candy stores. Here's another candy store. I love how it's very Canadian over there. Canada Bombs, like little chocolate pieces of candy. And I've never seen this, but a store had Canadians and Americans holding hands, like a sticker. Interesting. So I guess it signifies that we are friends, even with the political uncomfortableness, I'm gonna call it. And on the way back, this is already heading to Toronto Lake House restaurant. We called in advance to make sure they have space for us, and they did. This is my first time here. I've heard so many good things about it. So this is a Sunday brunch time, and I highly recommend you come here for Sunday brunch, which by the way, it lasts, I think, till 3 o'clock or something. Like it said one thing on the till 2 p.m., but we were here already after 2 p.m. and it was still happening Sunday brunch. Anyway, the lots of different options. So we got seated inside, which was not a problem because outside was like over 35 degrees and it was scorching. The wait for the food was a bit long, I'm not gonna lie. It was at least 40 minutes. But when we got it, so this is mac and cheese. It was so good. I highly recommend. Pizza, I think the type of pizza we chose was not the type I like, and this is a burrata pesto kind of situation, which was amazing. And all of the breads were perfectly toasted. There was like balsamic on it. So this is a Mediterranean restaurant, and the flavors are, oh my gosh, so good. Definitely highly recommend Lakeside House. And for its beautiful view, this is already Lake Ontario. We are heading back at this point. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to check out Lake Erie and Niagara-on-the-Lake and all of the restaurants that we did. Definitely let me know if you are planning a Lake Erie trip or if you have already been. And of course, if you enjoy videos such as this, please subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.